Barry, famous for its beaches, its theme parks, and of course, Gavin and Stacey. However, at the heart of this Welsh town is a football club that has won 8 league titles, qualified for the Europa League, as well as playing in the Champions League.
And they'll say, why do you support Barry Town? Well, because they're my local team.
Yeah.
I've watched them in Europe.
Barry Town United, the most successful club in Welsh football history, has a special connection with its community.
We are a community football club.
This documentary will explore that connection and why it is the People's Club. If we want to take a look into this great club, we must first look back at the history of it, and I caught up with unbelievable Barry Town FC author and superfan Ian Johnson as we delved into the history of Barry Town.
To look at sort of the difficult times of Barry, the rise, the fall and rise again. And during that period of uncertainty, what was it like for you, looking both as a writer, as a columnist for the local paper and a fan? What was that like to experience watching Barry fall a bit due to off-field issues?
It's a very difficult period and still a very emotional period for fans, people who went through that sort of decade or so where the club was at such a high point. We'd won the League of Wales and the Welsh Cup double 3 years running, and then the club literally ran out of money, went into administration, was relegated. It'd been bought after CVA by somebody from outside the club, who then ran the club for a decade and didn't do a particularly good job of it. And that's something that that I think really hurt a lot of fans, because people invest very deeply in the football club. They invest very deeply in their community that's around the football club. So watching Barry go from being this all-powerful sort of winning side that played Dynamo Kiev, played Aberdeen, played Porto, played Bella Vista, to a club that was struggling, which had argued with the council, wasn't even able to play at Jenner Park. So the fans set up a rival club. That whole decade is one that's very challenging for fans, even to look back on now. 7 years later.
And then eventually there was that revival now back to when they belong almost in the Welsh Premier League, Gavin Chesterfield being a large part of that. What was that like then for you, now watching their rise back to the leagues, watching them get success back again, back to the Welsh giants that they are?
Well, I mean, it's Gavin Chesterfield joined the club in 2007 initially, and I think large amounts of the work that's been done is part of Gavin, Hannah, Dave Cole, Lyndon Smith, Mark Barrett, and others who've been involved in in the club over that period of time. People like Eric Thomas, who was chairman from 2013 onwards. I think the important thing is building that wider club. So it's not just about the first team, it's about all the other things that are part of Barry Town, whether it's the women's teams, the development, the academy, the over 50s, 60s, the walking football. It's all part about building a big club that's part of the community. So the first team success is fantastic, and that is obviously the guiding light. That's the ones you see on Scorio every week. It's the team that's marched back through the divisions to where we rightfully are in the Welsh Premier, winning Division 3 the first time, winning Division 2 first time, coming second in Division 1, winning it the second time round, stabilising again in the Welsh Premier, and getting Europe again for the first time in 16 years last year. That's the level at which everyone, that's the Barry Town that people know and appreciate, and I think that's it's fantastic to see the club competing in the top of Welsh football again.
It's clear that life as a Barry Town United supporter is a rollercoaster ride of emotion, but that seems to have brought the club and its community together as one. And no one knows about that connection better than Club Secretary David Cole, who's been a part of the club for over 30 years. Now, unfortunately, due to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, I was unable to meet up with David Cole, so I had to conduct the interview from the safety of my own bedroom over a laptop on Zoom. I mean, you've been a part of the club now for so long, and it's been a rollercoaster journey, both on the pitch and off the pitch.
Yeah, 30 years have been involved in some way or another, and it's sort of, I say yes, I don't even remember the scenic railway over Barry Island, back in its day, where it went like that. Well, that's a bit, that's what Barry Town, I believe Barry Town United have been now for some considerable time, I suppose, really. I mean, we had a bit of stability when we had the O'Hallorans in charge of the club, but really after the O'Hallorans it sort of went a bit pear-shaped, which was I would guess around 2000, 1999, 2000, 2001.
Some great examples maybe of
a connection between the community and Barrytown, the club itself, and what did the club maybe do for the community, or the community for the club?
I think, I don't know if you know that every year we get involved in the Barry Roundtable Santa Sleigh. So we sponsor one of the days to pay for them to go around giving all these prizes, and our players turn up. Usually at the Colquitt, when they do the Colquitt run, the evening there, players and coaches will go along, give out free tickets for games, give all the prizes out that the round table, or helping to collect money for the vulnerable in Barry.
Yeah.
Another thing they did, just to keep in certainly our more vulnerable or elderly supporters going through this pandemic now, all the players wanted to phone supporters. So they were all given 3 supporters to ring up, just have a quick chat, make sure everything was all right, that sort of thing. Chris Hugh has just done a marathon in his garden for charity. He's been collecting money for charity for NHS UK and for one of our charities, which is Edgar's Gift, if they don't know that. So they're a charity based in England, but they provide things for usually kids in hospices and that sort of stuff, and vulnerable people. So it's that sort of thing. And I say, we're providing also the opportunity for kids in the Vale to play football for Barrytown. So that keeps our community element going.
I mean, people I've spoken to already, they all say the same thing. Barrytown is a family, not just a football club. It's a family. What do you say to that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I say that the fact that the players phoned up supporters, is proof of that. And all you have to do when you're after a game down at Jenner Park, when everybody comes up to the clubhouse, the players, the supporters, there's no, let's take the players into another room so they sit there and have a drink and something to eat all on their own or with the other team. No, they want to be in with the supporters. So the supporters know them. They know most of the supporters. I mean, they know a lot of supporters by their first names. They understand these people, and I know the players. They have nothing but praise, especially for our travelling support, who are an amazing bunch of people. They non-stop for 90 minutes, and they really are a 12th man for the players. So the players are really in with us all. They're almost supporters in their own right. They just happen to play for us.
Fans are an important part to any club's success, and this fan in particular is full of passion. Rhys Deans is the host of Barry Pod, as well as being a Barrytown super fan.
So, getting ready for the game. Gonna be epic. I'm gonna be absolutely hanging by the time this vlog is finished. So here we go.
When did your love for Barrytown start?
Funny enough, my love for Barrytown just came out of the bloom, really. You get the stories of the attraction, what football clubs standing out for you. But originally, it was Cardiff City at first. When I was a kid, I was oblivious to what Barrytown was. I didn't think Barrytown existed, and I think it was in the mid 2009 or late 2009 that I heard about it, and I heard about the times when Barrytown dominated in Europe. Well, not dominated Europe. They played in European. They dominated the Welsh Football League system. They dominated against Cardiff, Swansea, and it was just hearing the stories, and then I just started thinking, was it the right choice to be supporting Cardiff City? So then, when I went to go and watch Barry, I remember it was like an article about that big, and I just went and I read it, and I saw it was like Barrytown v Corus Steel. So I went there, and then moving on, I just fell in love with Barrytown then, and my love for Cardiff City sort of deteriorated after all the politics and the drama that was happening with under Vincent Town ownership. But ever since then, I've not looked back. And I continue to love and show my passion for Barrytown ever since.
I mean, look at the community side of things. With what Barry's got now in terms of there's the walking football team, there's the youth team, they've got the women's team as well. They're doing really well. And then there's infrastructure. They've got the pitch, the 3G pitch is relatively new, so to speak. The stadium is probably better than it's been for a while now in terms of its upkeep. What's it giving back? What's the club giving back to the community?
I think what's giving it back is a sense of it's not just Premier League, Barclays Premier League idea facade. You know, there's still football out there, and there's football to support. You know, and I'm not saying any football club doesn't really go to the schools and play with the kids and train with them, or go around the town giving out free tickets and everything. You know, if you look at Barry Town, right, you think of them, they're giving out free tickets to schools, they're going to the schools, and the likes of Kane McLagan and David Cottrell, former English League players. I mean, David Cottrell's an international player, but he's playing for Barry.
Yeah.
He's going to these schools, and he's, telling these kids, there's more than just Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal and that. There's Barry Town, there's your local team, and there's a sense of, and the club, encouraging other players, not just, the women and the men as well, they're encouraging people who have disabilities, people who feel like mentally or physically they can't do it.
Yeah.
Well, they can, and we're going to encourage them to do that, I think it's fantastic. And it's people who are over 55, over 65 are playing football, because they want to get out and want to do something. And that's what the club is doing. It's because they're saying, look, they're saying you can't. We're saying we can.
Yeah.
So come to us, we'll help you get there. And that's what it's doing. And now it's like 600 players playing for Barry Town.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Come on, and I think there's a sense of that. People who don't realise that the Barry are offering more than what they think they're offering. It's just they need to get off their bums, get off their seats and watch them.
Yeah.
It's clear that the club means a lot to the community. And if there's one person that sums up the heart and spirit of this community, it's Pan's disability coach, Chloe McBratney, and I caught up with her over Zoom.
Could you just tell me a bit about yourself? What's you built your life up until coaching with Barry Town, qualifies you for the Pan's disability team as well, and of course with Emily, the connection there.
Okay, I forgot to mention beforehand that obviously at the age of 18 months, I was diagnosed with bilateral optic nerve hypoplasia.
Okay.
So basically that means I have no sight at all in my right eye. And at the time, well, up until about 4 years ago, I maybe had about 60% vision in my left eye.
Right.
So obviously that made it really difficult I got like no depth perception, a little bit of peripheral vision. I got I'm colorblind as well. So obviously trying to play football, that's quite difficult.
Yeah.
Trying to do stuff for daily life is really difficult as well.
Barry Town itself, the club, has been praised for its links with the community. How important is that team, the Pan's disability team, to the community, allowing people maybe certain circumstances that felt maybe they couldn't get involved in sport? Does this show that they now can?
Yeah, so we have over, I think we're at the region of 50 players. We have under 12s, under 16s, and then we have over 16s, and our oldest player is 50 something. So we are a big age range. So it's not just somebody who says up to the age of 18, then they can't play anymore. We're not like that. It's Pan disability, so everybody can play.
You won relatively recently an Outstanding Achievement Award with the FAW Trust. What was that like?
It's really highlighted to people what somebody with a disability can do.
Yeah.
It shows that we all don't just sit at home and we're all not like, oh well, poor me, I've got this type of disability. It's actually, I'm going out there. Yeah, I've got Emily, but actually she's enabled me now to do so much more than I would have before.
Yeah. So
it really is able to show that, and with the video that we done as well, to be able to show that, yeah, Emily's is guiding me to my football session, but she's able to take a back seat and relax and not work while I'm able to do what I need to do. It's just absolutely fantastic.
Finally on my journey, I caught up with club photographer and cult hero Rhys Skinner to discuss his time at Barry Town.
Why did you decide to then continue after university? What was your reasoning behind it, apart from obviously the fact that you enjoyed your experience here?
I think that first year at this football club, for most of my life I've been a Cardiff City supporter, but being here in sort of, I guess you call it a non-league environment, you just, the connection that you have with the club that you're working with is so much more powerful than what you get when you're supporting a club like Cardiff City, because you know everyone here. Once you're here a few times, you start seeing the same faces, people doing things, you know, David Cole, club secretary, Hannah, Gavin, these people, they make you feel welcome in this community. And so the work that you're doing, you feel like you're valued, if you like. So, you know, every match day when I'm here taking photos, I know that when those photos get put on social media or that kind of stuff, people actually care about it. The players care about their photos and that kind of thing, and it's just a real nice community to work for.
Overall, what drives the Barrytown community is hard work, passion, strength, and love for this great club that truly make Barrytown United the people's club.